So Dan Keller, the man, the myth, the legend, and one of my Who friends. What's up, Dan? Make sure you unmute yourself, buddy.
What's up, buddy? Good to be on the call with you guys, man. This is great.
So by the way, I don't know if you've noticed it, but you and I both clap our hands. Someone was like, when you were doing a call, it's like we're both hand clappers.
Dude, you're the big dog, man. Everything I do, I try to follow you. So I probably got that from you.
I don't know, man. I got it from Tony Robbins.
Well, hey, that's a good lineage right there.
Yeah, no doubt. So folks, Dan Keller does over $80 million a year in production, coming to you live out of Seattle. He's almost done 2,000 total cost analysis. So you're chasing Jeremy. Jeremy's done over 3,000, Dan. So you've got to get your game on.
Okay.
But I know you have some scripts you want to share with everybody. I'll let you share which script you want to share first, but share some scripts, brother.
Yeah, I want to give a real quick intro, Dave, because I think this is really, really important. And I think I've heard a couple of other people on the call already talking about this. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of the word scripting. I am, but in general, as I talk to loan officers and realtors, it can kind of get diluted and played out. The idea around scripting, you guys, I equate everything to a game. I came from the college and professional sports arena before I got into mortgage. And so what scripting and dialogue does is it gets you to the game. But what happens when you get to the game, we have weather conditions we have to deal with, umpires, field conditions, lighting, crowd, other players that you weren't studying as you were preparing for the game. And so what scripting does is it allows you to increase your ability to win that game. Essentially what scripting does, I've heard Jeremy talk about this before, where it just increases your batting average. And so I wanted to start off with kind of and frame my call today with the idea that scripting is going to help you win more games. It's going to increase your batting average. But in addition to that, no script is going to work. Nobody has the magic script or dialogue, because if they did, we'd all use it and we'd all be multi-millionaires and all top 100 loan officers in the US. And so what scripting is going to do, what I'm going to share with you, one, it's going to help you increase your conversion, your batting average, but also you have to understand that your preparation for that game, my preparation for this mortgage planning meeting or the phone call, there's so much that goes into that. And you have to understand that the dialogue, the scripting isn't the end all. It's the preparation for that big game. So I think what you wanted me to talk about and what I wanted to talk about today is the buyer conversion, the borrower conversion. You said the industry's under attack. We've got online lenders. Everyone owns a mortgage company nowadays. Everyone's fighting for a deal. I mean, recently, Dave, I have to use this example. I had a client go in to get their earnest money check. They're coaching at Chase Bank, Bank of America, the big banks. They're coaching their tellers around keywords. Someone was going in to get earnest money. Oh, are you buying a home? Yes, we're buying a home. Well, have you talked to our preferred mortgage specialist? Hold on, let me grab him real quick. And they gave him some crazy program, some crazy rate. They brought it back to me and I said, you don't qualify for that. It's a totally different program, has income guidelines, etc. But that's happening, you guys. And so making sure that we are educating our clients is so big right now. So I'm going to start with this. I'm going to give you some dialogue, but I also want to frame from my website to my social media, to the intro call, everything around everything that I'm doing right now with realtors and borrowers is a part of the game plan to convert. So the dialogue that I'm really using right now is when I get referred a borrower. I want to kind of explain, I want to share some commentary around that. The first thing that I do is I triangle for trust. So when a borrower calls me or I get a name and a number to call a new borrower, the first thing that I do is I triangle for trust. Hey, Sarah asked me to connect with you, Sarah over at Keller Williams. I'm curious, how do you know Sarah? Okay, and I wait for their answer, and then I ask one more question to go deeper to kind of build that trust. The other thing that I do in that is, as a part of that process, is I give honor. I give honor to that agent. And so what I'm trying to do is securing the reason why Sarah recommended that borrower to me. So then I ask them, hey, I'm curious, what did Sarah say about us? Well, she said you were quick to respond. She said this, she said that. I repeat that, and then I go into this. One of the reasons why Sarah asked you and I to connect, or asked me to connect with you, is this. You're looking to move up. You're looking to buy your first home. And one of the things that we do is we have a system in place to really help navigate you through that process. It begins with education.
Hey, are you tired of getting rate shopped? Then do what 34% of America's best loan officers do. Stop quoting rates. Start delivering a total cost analysis. This game-changing strategy will radically reduce rate shopping, and when you do get shopped, you'll win more. To learn more about this total cost analysis by Mortgage Coach, just email sales@mortgagecoach.com to request your personalized demo and get some rate shopping script.
The other thing that I do is I just finished reading a book from John Maxwell called Good Leaders Ask Great Questions. If you're watching this interview, I encourage you as a loan rep, as a sales professional, get better at asking better questions. Get better at asking great questions, and then use these guys. Somewhere along the lines, I heard of this ratio. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Leverage the ratios, okay? So I ask better questions. I ask every single person in today's market right now, and this is a big question. This is part of my dialogue. Why do you want to buy a house? And then I ask why 2 or 3 more times. So why do you want to buy a house today? I met with a client last night, and he said the house that he has is too small. I said, okay, what do you mean? Bedrooms, yard, square footage? At the end of the day, I found out that he wants to sell his house right now, buy a new house, because he's got 2 kids that are beginning elementary school, and the school district he's in is not the best one. So I went from pre-approving a client, someone wanting to buy a bigger house, to now the big why. The big why is a better school district so he can take better care of his kids. And so then I focused my meeting around that. And yeah, we talked about interest rates and everything. We talked about total cost analysis. But now the big why that I can always circle back to is buying a home in Bothell versus Everett. The school district's better there, et cetera. So the last thing that I do is, and it's a part of the close in regards to this dialogue, is and this is that first phone call, it lasts less than 2 or 3 minutes, is I let them know that it's tougher than ever to buy a home. You've got the media that will say that it's easy and you can do it with an app. We certainly can do that. But listen, there are regulations that were put in place over the last 8 to 10 years, and they're all still in place here in 2019. The economy's recovered, the housing market's recovered, but these regulations are still here. So I'm going to take a super complicated process. I'm going to break it down into 2 simple steps. I've created a platform, a page, a mortgage concierge page for you. I'm going to email it to you. I've broken it down into 2 simple steps. You're going to complete step 1, which is my client intake form. Step 2 is my concierge page. And then I'm going to follow up with you. So I'm going to stop right here, Dave, but going back to preparing for the game, that concierge page is my close, you guys. There's so much value there. That, with gathering the information up front, the right scripting, and then the total cost analysis that I put together for them before they actually apply, I'm giving them everything up front, and it helps. My conversion rates have literally, over the last 2 years, I've seen an increase in that by not being so reserved.
Love it. So guys, write down this playbook. Dan is talking to the family about hopes and dreams. So it's not about rates and fees and programs. He is providing, call it macro educational content, both online, social, his Facebook, conversation. And then he's delivering personally branded advice. That's the total cost analysis. So think of that. You know, it's this experience. But if you're focused on rates and fees, that is, you know, you're going to get beat. You're going to get beat by a big bank. You're going to get beat by a local credit union that's buying the rates. You're going to get beat by online lender. You have to be selling. Hopefully the takeaway everybody's getting is you've got to just connect with people on a personal level and then deliver a great experience. So I've seen a few people make comments about how they're viewing this and they're seeing everybody at the same time. I want everybody to know that's a personal preference thing. In the upper right-hand corner of Zoom, you can click speaker view or gallery view. And if it's gallery view, you're going to see us all at the same time. If it's speaker view, you're going to see us like this. So Dan, I think you already said you would do this, but you're going to provide a sample of your email, a sample of a total cost analysis with a video, and what else can we put in this SCRIPT-a-PALOOZA playbook that we're going to provide to everybody within a few days? Yeah.
Once you get to the rate conversation, you guys, I highly encourage you. I mean, and I know you guys spend a lot of time, and I love the Mortgage Coach total cost analysis, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. This thing right here, the Rate Watch app, I pulled this thing out. I wish you guys had a ticker. Dave, of how many times a loan officer uses this. I use this multiple times a day with clients. I literally open it up just like this when we start talking about interest rates and say, I get it, interest rates are important right now. And I have a talk track around interest rates where I learned this from I think Jeremy Forestier about a year ago, where the markets are all pretty much evenly priced. There's some outliers, but you got to be careful. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And so what I say is, here's the difference maker in the markets. I have access to this app. This app notifies me when the market's going to reprice. This app has saved my clients over the last 8 to 10 years, hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest. So how great would it be if you get your offer accepted on a home? Part of my commitment to you is that I'm going to have a rate lock strategy called the day your offer gets accepted. And I do this with every single one of my clients. I pull out this app. I tell you about the trend. I talk about how the trend is your friend. One thing, understanding that. I talk about the trend. I talk about today's trading and then what's to happen in the next week or two that could impact rates. Now, that's not common. That's not common at other mortgage banks and credit unions. And so how great would it be where you get your purchase and sell accepted and I say, hey, we're experiencing a rally right now. We're not going to lock your rate. We're going to wait 2 or 3 days. And then I go and I give you updated pricing in 2 or 3 days, and it's 0.25% better.